Hey guys, what's good? Triple J Boxing. So, I did a reaction video of the whole fight. Didn't go totally smooth. My stream was shutting down at points in the fight. Most notably, round I think 8, 9, and 10. It was kind of shaky. Um, but check it out, guys. It wasn't a live stream, but it's a reaction nonetheless. If you want to see how I reacted to the fight as it was happening. If they don't copyright the audio I don't know how it works because I've never done that. Never done that type of video. But anyway, I'm just going to give my thoughts on the actual fight itself. Though I did miss those, like I said, I think it was round 9, 10. I missed those full rounds. I think parts of 8 as well. So take my opinion with a grain of salt, knowing that I missed those rounds, and those rounds ended up being very important in the fight, obviously, because Lamont Roach was coming on strong in those rounds. And I made a mistake in that live, well, it wasn't a live stream, but in my initial reaction, since I missed those rounds, when when the stream started working again, it was round, I think, 11, or it was at the end of round 10, I think, or something like that. And they were showing the highlights, and Abner Mares was saying, "Oh, it looked like it was ending the highlights with Abner saying he took a knee. That's a knockdown." So me, after hearing that, I assumed, okay, he got knocked down, and they show the highlight. He got kind of tapped on the eye. It looked like just the way it hit his eye. Maybe it did something to his eye somehow, a delayed reaction. He got something in his eye, so he took a knee. So, yeah, when I heard that, like I said, right when the stream started working, it was like Abner Mares just said, Gervonta Davis, he took a knee, that's a knockdown. So I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, he actually dropped him. He got a knockdown there. And before that, there was rounds, I think, after round 7, I think around 8, Lamont started really coming on. But up to round 7, I said, I told this in the video, I said, Gervonta Davis is in control. I mean, Lamont Roach is going to need a knockout to win this fight because I don't see him changing anything. I don't see him offering anything to really change the trajectory of this fight. And it didn't look like, it just looked like he was playing it really safe, and he was not throwing it enough. And Tank was he was using his very good footwork by Tank, kind of just doing everything very well, in my opinion. Tank was setting up shots, throwing a lot of punches, good body shots, good straight left hands, and the footwork is what impressed me. Tank just looked comfortable in there, and Lamont Roach was just more cognizant of his defense, and wasn't really, it didn't look like he was doing enough to win the rounds, in my opinion. So, let's go back. So the reason why I made a mistake is because, and it's not even really my mistake, it was boxing's mistake. Good old boxing, they do it again to you. I should have known it wasn't a knockdown. For some reason, the ref didn't call taking a knee a knockdown. Now, how weird is that? This is boxing. It's expected. Terrence Crawford tweeted saying, the rules got changed tonight. I don't get it. What's going on? It's so true. And what's even more crazy about this is that the ref went up to Gervonta after that, because Gervonta went to his corner and he wiped his eye with a towel. And I'm not saying, though, legitimately he wouldn't have got dropped. I don't think he did. I do believe his excuse of he got wax in his eye and it stung his eye from his hair because he just got his hair done or something. So he said his eye was stinging. So he took a knee and then he wiped it with the towel in the corner. As he was coming back, though, the ref was like, "You can't do that. That looks like a knockdown if you take a knee." So the ref even knew that was a knockdown. He didn't do it. That's how corrupt boxing is. Like, that's ridiculous. If that was the other way around, Lamont Roach did that, it would have been a knockdown. Like, and that's why I knew he had no chance of winning the fight. Even though he was coming on strong, Lamont, I knew he didn't have a chance. The cash cow will always get the decision no matter what, guys. And that's just the way it goes. But like I said, I I didn't score the fight, and I can't you can't really trust my opinion because I missed round 9, 10, and parts of 11, I think. So I missed some rounds, so you can't really take my opinion fully. To me, I had Tank comfortably winning, though. I thought he was winning going into the second half of the fight, and I thought that Lamont Roach needed a knockout to win, or a lot of knockdowns, many of them. So from what I seen, it looked like Tank won. But now that I got to go back and watch those rounds, and then if I include that knockdown, maybe it will be a different story. I don't know. Either way, it was a close fight, competitive fight in the second half of the fight. It looked like Tank was in control, and then I don't know what happened with him. I don't know if that was just a game plan by Lamont. He figured out Tank a bit more because he was landing a lot of good shots on Tank in the second half of the fight. A lot of good early. I'll give him credit. In the first half of the fight, he was landing good shots. It's just he wasn't really like sitting down on them, and he wasn't throwing enough of them. He was landing good straight right hands early in the fight, but like I said, they weren't really doing anything to Tank. But in the second half of the fight, it seems like he was putting more power into his shots, and he was landing really good straight right hands. That straight right hand was finding Tank's chin and his head all second half of the fight. And when Tank would dip down and bob and weave, Lamont Roach would actually know when he was going to do that, and he would still land the right hand. Good left hooks he landed. So he was doing good in the second half of the fight. I'm not going to lie. Did way better than I expected. As the fight was progressing, my prediction was Tank by knockout. As I was watching the first half of the fight, the first early 3-4 rounds, I thought Tank was going to stop him before the middle rounds were done. I really thought that it was just a matter of time before Tank really sat down on his counter shot and knocked him out. I really thought that. He was landing tremendous body shots, good counters, good 1-2s, good straight left hands. But he wasn't sitting down fully on his shots. And I thought eventually he was going to knock him out. And credit to Tank, he did start sitting down on his shots even more. But Roach was just eating them. He could handle the power, which was surprising. And so Tank's footwork was very good too in the first half of the fight. Everything was just good. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, the fight wasn't exciting," like Jake Paul said that, but I still thought it was a good, exciting tactical fight. It's just now that I go back and that wasn't counted as a knockdown, that's gonna leave another stain on boxing. It's always something with boxing. You get something every big fight. You're gonna get some kind of controversy, it seems, and this fight you get this happening, and it's a shame, but. I mean, I do believe Tank that it was something in his eye, and I do respect Tank because he said he'll give him the rematch. Let's run it back. So he knows it was a close fight, and Lamont deserves that rematch. So it was very good performance by Roach. He stayed composed, which was really key for him. I thought staying composed was more okay. Is he just trying to survive? It looked like in the first half, but then. That was the game plan. Staying composed, staying defensively sound, downloading data when you really thought that Tank was downloading. He was downloading as well, and he was figuring out Tank's movements and Tank's strategy, and he adapted, and he started winning those later rounds. So congrats to him, and I hope to see the rematch. But that's my thoughts on it, guys. I thought that Tank did very well in the first half. The footwork was great. The counters were good. The speed, the power, the combinations, the body punching. The ring generalship was just amazing by Tank. But then the second half, I missed a couple of those rounds, but it seemed like Lamont Roach started figuring out Tank's movements and when to counter Tank and how to land his shots. He was timing Tank with his right hands and very good. He started actually letting his hands go even with combinations, Lamont, and he started pressuring Tank at times. And really putting pressure on Tank mentally and physically, you could tell. And early in the fight, I know Lamont wasn't throwing that much punches, but there was one shot early in the fight where he looped a right hand, and Tank blocked it on his guard, but Tank smiled at him. I think Tank respected his power, I'm not going to lie. I think he sensed his power. And Tank was very cautious at the start of the fight, but so was Lamont. I just felt like Tank was winning, though, majority of those early rounds. He was more active. And, but yeah, respect to Lamont Roach. I did not expect him to start winning rounds in the second half. I didn't think he was doing anything that told me he was going to change anything, but he did. And hope to see the rematch.